Welcome to your new journey of an entrepreneur, hosted by myself, Joyce Van Setters, and my friend Pete Moriello. With over 20 years of experience, we will be exploring this world of innovators, providing insights and advice to aspiring and current entrepreneurs. We'll share stories of success, failures, and all of the lessons we learned along the way. Get ready to break out of your comfort zone, but on the other side of this, you will be forever free. Welcome to Forever Free Space Podcast. I am health and fitness professional Joyce Van Setters.
And I am Pete Moriello, broker associate.
And together we created this space for aspiring and current entrepreneurs to have a place to get as much information as possible on their entrepreneurial journey, but also have a community, which I think is essential.
Yes.
So today we're going to talk about overcoming challenges.
But before we do that, I want to do like a little icebreaker with you. And this is funny because I was thinking about this today. What is one? You don't got to give me a lot. What is one of your pet peeves?
One of my pet peeves, see. So I'm a homebody. So my biggest pet peeve at home is if someone spills something on the counter and then just like walks away. Like that drives me nuts. I'm like, you did not see that?
Sometimes you can't see water on the counter though.
No, not water. Anything. What's yours?
I have a few.
Give me one.
One is when you go in, like if you got to go to the bathroom really badly,
yeah,
and you walk into a place and you're like, "Oh, pardon me, do you have a bathroom?" And they tell you no. Yo, that bothers me, man. Like, yo, I genuinely need to go to the bathroom.
Because you're like, everybody in here had to go to the bathroom.
No one uses the
today.
bathroom in here,
right?
That's like it irks me a little bit.
Funny.
But I understand what they do, but it kind of irks me.
Yeah, I probably could go down. Or when they say you have to buy something, and then you could use the bathroom. Have you ever heard that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or when they lock the door and then they make you hold a key.
Yeah.
Like a lot of shit hanging there, and now you look like an idiot.
These are actually challenges that we can try to overcome today.
Pee before you leave the house.
There you go. And, just shut up and wipe up whoever's mess made the mess.
All right, so let's get into
let's get into it. So we want to talk about overcoming challenges, and not everybody is bred to be an entrepreneur. So no matter what you're doing in life, there's going to be challenges that you have to overcome, but we're going to cultivate a mindset for you today to make it easier to overcome those challenges. So first, before I get into it, I just want to say the energy around you responds to positivity and to negativity, right? Mm-hmm. So no matter if you're positive or you're negative, that's what the energy around you responds to. So if you're always in a negative mindset, you're never, ever, ever going to be able to be at your best. You're never going to be able to perform at your best. And no matter what you're doing, if you're trying to start a business, if you're working a 9-to-5, you're never going to be able to perform at your best if you're always negative.
Absolutely. One of the books I read was Think Rich?
Think and Grow Rich?
Think and Grow Rich.
One of my favorites.
PMA.
Yeah.
Talks about PMA,
mm-hmm.
positive mental attitude. Like that across the board goes with everything you do, right? Because it's so easy for us in society. I don't know why, but it's very easy for us to get stuck in the negative rut. Like some people just genuinely go towards the negative.
Yeah.
It could be anything, but you have to have a strong mindset to go towards that positive with think, oh no, things are going to get better. Things are not going to get worse.
Right.
And there's also somebody had said something like, if you take your problems, everybody in the room took their problems and you threw them on the table,
right,
you'd be begging to get yours back.
Yeah, exactly, right.
And that's the thing. Like if you think about, let's say you're having a rough day,
mm-hmm.
let's say you're going through a rough patch, like there's probably somebody out there that's going through a lot more shit than you are.
Yeah.
So you just be grateful that your problem is not that bad.
Yeah.
And I'm a firm believer in you can fix anything.
Yeah. I think when people hone into their negativity and hang on to it, it's because they don't really forgive themselves for a lot of mistakes that they make in the past. And we tend to forget all of the good that we know about ourselves. Like
mm-hmm.
we tend to forget that the older we get, and you have to keep coming back to all of the good that you actually know about yourself to be true. And then it's easier to forgive yourself for mistakes, and it's easier to be positive when you move on to the next thing or even trying something new.
Do you think that it's easier to forgive yourself as you get older? Because I feel like when you're younger, you're more inexperienced, so it's kind of hard when you're dealing with that first initial thing that pops up in front of you, you don't know how to handle it. So you may think negatively at that time. But maybe if you go through it like once or twice, like a breakup, let's say, right? Your first breakup ever in your life was probably devastating.
Yeah.
Then maybe the second one wasn't that bad.
Right.
On the fourth one, you're like, yo,
I'm okay.
fuck that,
I'm okay.
man. I'm good. I'm going to get a new one.
I think it's
But, like,
easier
that's
when
what
you
I
get
mean.
older. Well, the reason I think it's easier when you get older, because I feel like with everything, when you get older, you have cheat codes.
True.
You know, you have cheat codes. Like you said with the breakup, by the time you get to your fourth or fifth breakup, you know you're not going to die.
Right.
You know,
You cry a
you know
little
you're going to
bit.
meet someone better.
Have a girl's night out, have a guy's night out,
Right.
drink, you get over it, and you just keep it moving.
And the universe will take care of you, and you're aware of that when you're older.
Yeah.
So, I think when you get older, it's easier to forgive yourself for mistakes. But I think that also, in order to do that and to keep going back to the good that you know about yourself, I think you have to be fully present. Like, you have to like live in the power of now.
Yes.
Instead of going back to what you did or what happened.
That's one of the reasons why I hate history.
I hate history because
I
I
hate
just don't
history.
remember anything. Like, I'm horrible at
I used
remembering.
to sit in history class like, yo, what are we doing right now? I do not care about anything in the past.
Right.
Like, this doesn't make any
Right.
sense.
What's going on today?
But I think us as a society, we always zone in on history. Oh, my ancestors this or this and this, or history replays itself, or history repeats itself. Nah, not necessarily.
Right.
Not if you allow it to repeat itself, right? Like, I could say, well, my mom did this, so I'm gonna do that. Well, your parent might not have been doing the right thing at the time.
Right.
You know, let's call it maybe parents. You're parenting. You look back and you're like, oh, you know what, my mom or my dad didn't do the right thing growing up, or at least didn't agree with it now as an adult. So I'm gonna change that for my child.
I like that.
So that's a pattern that you need to change, because sometimes we come from these patterns
Yeah.
that are
everything's
hard
a
to break
pattern, habit.
culturally. You know, your environment, past experiences.
Right.
And I think strong mindset is what's going to take you past those negative influences.
Yeah.
Let's call it negative influences.
Definitely.
You know?
So I broke it down to 5 categories of what I think would be the easiest way to overcome challenges and get out of your own way.
Let's check it out.
As far as entrepreneurship. So number 1 would be you are taking on too many tasks. When you start a business, it's very easy because you don't have any money, you know, you're putting your own money into it. It's very easy to say, I'm going to be the janitor, I'm going to be the secretary, I'm the CEO, I'm the CFO, I'm the everything. You don't want to give anybody anything or delegate anything to anybody because number 1, you don't have the money to do so, and number 2, you don't think anybody's as good as you or sees your vision, and you don't really share that.
That's a super important. That's the one you just hit on the head. I'll touch on that really quickly.
And you do this all by trying to run your social media as well.
Well, when you start out and you're creating that business, we always talk about forever free, right?
Yeah.
But you have to create that freedom. In the beginning, when you start something, you're not free. You're attached to that, right?
Absolutely.
You're like building it. You are wearing 5 different hats, but you're trying to do those things because you're trying to build it. Importantly, what I think needs to happen is you need to learn how to delegate and be comfortable delegating. Like, okay, hey, I need help with, social media. I'm going to delegate to a social media expert, or maybe be creative. Get a young kid who's on social media all day and does reels and does this and does that. Pay him a little extra. If you have a business that, maybe it's catered towards teenagers, right? Let's say you're a sneaker flipper. Hey, man, you can help me out. Run my social media. I'll throw you a couple pair of sneakers.
Right.
I'll throw you size 10s and whatever you're rocking
right.
right now.
So that's good if you don't have money.
So
you could
you're bartering
trade.
a little
Yeah,
bit, right?
Got it.
But you're also getting back. And that person might like what you're doing, so they'd be cool to help you. So those are some things to overcome the financial kind of hardships, let's say in the very beginning, because you're trying to do everything, and then it gets overwhelming. And then you have that, am I doing the right thing?
Right.
Man, I don't know. Shit, man. Let me go back to 9 to 5. And that's when you start doubting yourself. That self-doubt comes in.
Yeah,
So,
you're right.
it's true.
When I'm working with a client and they tell me that they just don't have any money at all to find someone to help them, even if it's a college kid, that you could pay very little to. I have a pamphlet I didn't bring today, but if you go down with everything that someone is spending throughout their week, trust me, you'll find the money.
Yeah.
You'll find it.
Yeah, you just
whether it's in
scale back
the
on
shoes
something.
they bought, right? All the Netflix accounts. you'll find the money.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I agree with that. You said something that nailed it on the head.
That's number 2. You don't think someone can do the job as well as you.
Ooh,
Is that it?
Super
That's
tough.
what you're talking about?
Super tough.
Yeah.
I was like that. Still a little bit like that because
I think every entrepreneur has that.
this is your baby.
Right.
And you're like, man, I want to let my baby go.
Right.
Because you're gonna drop it.
Right. Right.
You're not gonna feed it like I'm gonna feed it. You're not gonna bathe it like I'm gonna bathe this baby. And that's the hard part, man. That's super hard. But if you want to grow, you got to let go. But you also have to be okay with asking for help.
Yeah.
That was probably one of the biggest challenges for me personally, is being comfortable asking for help, because I am the type of person to say, you know what, I'll do it myself.
The problem is you will burn out so fast, and then you'll give up.
Yes.
And that's the reason why we talked about before, a lot of entrepreneurship business don't work.
Yes.
People give up.
You give up, or you're just in it all day, every day, nonstop. And then you're like lacking on a social life, lacking on health.
Right.
Because you're just consumed with it.
Right.
So it is, you do need that balance.
Right.
So you do have to ask for help. It's okay.
You do.
Ask for help.
Number 3 is going to be controversial to people, because I hear people say this all the time. I think it's a problem with most people. Fake it till you make it. I've never liked this. Don't get me wrong. I think there's a certain type of hustler that's an entrepreneur that can get away with this, but I think the majority of us cannot. And I think that when people do that, they set up a false sense of confidence about their business and about what they're doing, and it all crashes. Because if you say, well,
I agree.
If, like, for instance, my soap company, in the beginning, I wasn't getting a lot of sales. I just didn't have it. And I now have it set up where people buy subscriptions. So they just go on, and every month, I hope we're all using soap. So every month you're just getting soap to you. It's not, I don't have to try to sell you soap, right?
Right.
But in the beginning, I didn't have that. And I kept seeing this whole fake it till you make it thing, fake it till you make it. And I was like, what actually does that mean? Am I supposed to sit here and say, oh, I don't need customers. I have customers. Yeah, no. I don't have customers.
No,
I need customers.
I disagree with that. I think that fake it till you make it became more relevant once Instagram became more socialized, because you can fake everything on social media, right?
Everything.
So I think that's part of the fake it till you make it. You gain followers because you're impressionable. People think you're this like almighty CEO, or you're this type of person.
Right.
Then you get.
I'm just starting a soap company, people. I need customers.
You meet you in person, and then you start asking questions.
Right.
And then you start realizing, this person's not who they say they are.
Right.
Then it gives you like false hope. Like, am I going to invest in this person's company? Do I believe what this person's selling now? Because they sold me a dream, and it's not true. But I see a lot of people do that on social media. I see a lot of, fake it till you make it. And
I just think it sets you up for false confidence. And false confidence, again, there's a certain type of hustler that can pull that off to a certain extent, but eventually you crash because you're not making it. So how long is that faking it going to go?
I guess you got to push it so far. I guess once you take a bite out of that apple, you got to keep going. Like, you got to pick and choose.
I don't like that saying. I know everybody loves it, but I don't.
I don't agree with it either, because I think it's going to set you up for something that you're not going to be able to control.
Yeah.
Like, what if you do get a high-end client who's ready to invest in you, and then let's say you fucked a sale up.
Right.
Let's say because you don't have the experience.
Right.
Now that's when you're going to have to ask for help.
Right.
Now that's when you're going to have to backtrack.
Right.
Now you can lose more opportunities doing that, because, I come to you with a big investment based off of what I saw on your social media, your write-ups.
Right.
Let's say you paid for all this, I don't know, reviews to be done.
Right.
I'm like, oh, wow, this guy's great. I trust you with this amount of money, right? And then you blow it, you fuck it up. Let's close the door for a lot of opportunities for you.
Yeah.
Because now if you did well with what I was giving you,
right.
All right, I'm going to tell everybody about you.
Right.
Like word of mouth.
Absolutely.
Right? I'm like, hey, this guy is legit. He's who he says he is.
Right.
Her soap is amazing. It cleared up my skin. Blah blah blah. You got to get this thing.
Right.
And then
do you want to advertise for me?
I got nice skin now. So like, no, I'm playing. But I'm just saying, like, you got to be true. You got to be true to who you are, even if it's on a smaller scale, because then you'll see the residual outcome of you just being
Absolutely.
boots to the ground, true knowledge, educating yourself.
Right.
Because
And
business changes.
let me just explain the type of hustler that I think can get away with that. So there's a story. I'm a big foodie. I love Barefoot Contessa. I don't know if you know who that is.
I don't.
Oh, how could you not know who that is? But anyway, so
What, is she cooking stuff?
When
Okay.
she got started, she's huge. I mean, if you Googled her,
Now I'm gonna have to look her up.
yeah, she's ridiculous. But when she first got started, I can't remember the exact story, but it was like a famous magazine or company that had called her and was like, I think she was making maybe like donuts or bagels or something like that. It was a famous magazine that called her and said, yeah, we need like 500 by tomorrow. Can you and your company do that? Absolutely, she said. And her company was like her and a friend. There was no actual company making this, but she pulled it off.
Yeah.
And that became the start of her brand. So I do think there's a certain type of hustler that can do that. But it wasn't like she was faking it on social media or faking this whole brand.
She just hit it at the right time.
She legit can cook,
Yeah.
and is the real deal.
Yeah. So I think that's different, right? Like she just kind of hit something and was like, "Oh wow,
Right.
All
I'm gonna make this
I got to
happen.
take this. Yeah, I got to
I have
take
to
this and
take
make
it.
it happen."
Right.
But
Absolutely.
she's not presenting it where she's like banging out thousands of donuts, let's say.
Right.
And then now she's getting all these orders that she can't handle.
Right.
Right. I mean, I think that happens.
She made it work, and then she was able to bring on a company.
Well, that's like the model of like a Shark Tank, right?
Yeah.
Like when you go on, when the people go on Shark Tank, they ask you, well, what do you got going on? You
Right.
have the infrastructure. Oh no, well, I'm not going to invest in you because you don't have that infrastructure.
Right.
I like the product, but I don't like. Maybe now I can help you if I bring my part in. So yeah, you have to have things set up accordingly.
Yeah. Number 4, and this one's my favorite because I say it all the time. So I'm going to start with, I'm someone who's like madly in love with change. I know people hate change. I love change. Like when I was younger, I love it so much. My younger sister and I, we used to, every season that changed, we would like change our room around for like fall or winter. Like we just wanted something new. And I love change because it allows you to come into every situation with a different perspective and a different view. And I think that one of the reasons people can't overcome challenges is because they're just not in love with change.
But people are comfortable being comfortable.
Yeah.
Right. So they don't like change because, they get scared. It's fear.
Of course.
Change brings fear, right? You don't know what is behind that door. So I'm not going to open that door because I know I'm comfortable in this room. I don't know if I open that door, I don't know what's going to happen. It's one or two things. There could be blessings behind those doors.
Mm-hmm.
So why not open them up? If there's a problem behind it, like a challenge, you solve it to move past it. And again, the blessing probably leads on the other side of that challenge.
Right.
So people don't like change. I know that for a fact.
How would you approach that for someone starting out in real estate that just didn't like change? Yeah.
Well, listen,
how would you get them more comfortable with adapting to change?
Gotta let go, because like in real estate, it's not a cookie cutter. So every single transaction in real estate can be completely different. There's a lot of moving parts. So like I could have 10 deals under contract. It's not like I'm following a certain patterns to get these to the closing table, because it could be, we might have on this particular property underground oil tank. It's an environmental issue. Okay, we have to overcome that. People gonna want to negotiate credits and all this other stuff. And the second property could be, I had a situation where we were on the contract. My seller got sick, like extremely sick. That's a challenge as well. Like we got to cater to that. Like I don't know what to do at that point.
Right.
We have to figure out how to talk with the family. What do you want to do? How do you want to move? The third one could be something completely different. Could be someone having financial problems. So you have to adapt to these changes. If you think it's always going to be clock in and then clock out, then this might not be for you. Like you need to really, focus in on adapting, being open-minded.
Mm-hmm.
And we spoke about this before, being resourceful. Like if you're not resourceful enough to figure out, how do I solve this problem? What do I need to do to make this happen? What do I need to do? What do I do to make this work? You might be in the wrong field.
When I have a client come to me, and I'm talking about a client with like real goals where we're about to like change everything about them. I often get them ask the question of, how's my life going to change? Like, or is my life going to change? And sometimes they ask it with worry. And I always say, we're changing all the time, right?
Yeah.
So you're in school, you're not in school. You have a boyfriend, you have a husband, you don't have a husband. You have a wife, you get married, you have kids. We're changing all the time. We're adapting all the time. So
seasons change. You change your car.
so it's a silly question.
Change your clothes.
Right. Welcome it.
Yeah.
That's all.
You go and buy a new outfit. You get excited. You put it on. You want to wear it out. Like, that's a change. You're not wearing the same shitty T-shirt for the last 30 years.
Exactly.
But I don't know. People don't think that way.
Yeah.
People think with a worried mindset. People think with a scared vision.
I think that if you surround yourself, like for instance, if someone was coming into real estate and they, this is where I think mentors work again. If they surround themselves with someone who has a vision like you and can adapt to change so easily, you can kind of take that on.
Well, mentorship does help because, you know, you need someone to guide you. You need someone to tell you, hey, listen, I've been there. Don't worry. It's not a big deal. Here's how you do it. Try these steps. Let me know how it works for you. Because if you're a worried person, then you're not going to be able to see past that. Like, some people have blockers on.
Right.
Something happens, boom, I don't know how to handle this shit.
Right. They shut
Damn,
down.
man, you shut down. You shut down. Adults shut down. Kids shut down. You know, so you need somebody to talk you out of something.
Yeah.
Or you need someone just to put something in perspective for you, so that light could just click, and then you could say, you know what? Yeah, that person was right. All right, here's what I'm going to do next.
Right.
So.
And number 5, I don't think this is a real word, but I think I saw it reading something a long time ago, but you don't have stickability. So it kind of loops us back to number 1 of taking on too many tasks, because if you stick to everything, you'll stick to nothing. And that can come in a lot of ways. So it can come in if you're trying to do everything, then you're going to burn out. Mm-hmm. Or if you just give up too easily because you just can't stick to something, and not realizing that everything that you do is going to take patience. Everything that's going to cultivate something good takes patience. You're going to quit.
So with that, I think you need to prioritize. Like, you have to prioritize, like, all right, the top 10 things I do in my business. If we're just talking about business, all right, I have to prioritize. Like, all right, I got to take care of these 5 things, and I'm
talking about an entrepreneurship specifically, because I feel like that's an overwhelming thing for people to start something.
So when I started real estate, I was teaching and doing real estate at the same time.
Right.
And in teaching, I had no break. Like, I'm locked in from 8:30. Well, yeah, let's call it 8, right? Like 8 to 3:30. Like, I don't have any wiggle room. Like, I'm not showing properties. Couldn't really be on my phone, although I was, but I couldn't.
Right.
Just looked down upon, right? But I had to put things for me in on a board, like on a vision board. All right. I'm not happy with the teaching career. I'm looking to get out of that. So I pretty much, and I say it now, I'll do the bare minimum I need to do to check the boxes off, but I'm going to focus on real estate. So I have to really let that go. Like, I'm not doing anything extra. Oh, you need somebody after school? Can't do it. Oh, you need somebody to come in early? Can't do it. Oh, you need somebody to fill this slot? Can't do it. I'm only doing my A, B, and C, and I'm out. As soon as I'm out, it's real estate focused. So what does that mean? I'm letting go, and I'm focusing on what I want to do, and now I'm building, and I was able to leave that career. Some people will say, "Yo, you're crazy for leaving. That's a pension. Oh, that's security. Oh, that's so and so."
You knew what you wanted.
I didn't look at it like that. I looked at it as like, "Yo, that's a jail sentence."
Right.
Like, I gotta work there for like
opportunity.
35 years, and I don't like the way it's structured, and whatever. I'm going this way.
Right.
So yeah, I think with that is, again, it comes with focusing on your goals. Mm-hmm. And really zoning in on the important things and taking a step back from the least or the less important things.
Right. So just to recap those 5 things, and I want to add on a little cheat code or keynote at the end. So the first one we said is you're taking on too many things. You don't want to do this alone. You don't.
You don't.
It's
if you can have some help, it's nice.
Definitely. The second one is,
and who helped you in the soap business? Anybody help you?
I definitely had I hired a social media people to help me, and I hired a couple of girls to help me make the soap. Okay. Only because when I started getting real sales, I couldn't make I wasn't Barefoot Contessa. I couldn't make those soaps,
Yeah.
soaps on my
Well,
own.
that's what I mean. So
Yeah,
you
would take like 2 days to do that.
you
So.
had at least some help there.
Yeah.
And then you're able to build it out.
Right.
So again, you weren't like doing everything on your own.
Oh, no.
Can't.
Anything I always say, I'm going to hire a college student. Always.
Mm-hmm.
Always. And I'll find the money, to hire the college student.
Now there's so many
Always.
things you can do where you can go to Upworks, you can
Yeah.
go to Fiverr, you can hire someone.
Well, there's AI assistants now. But.
Now I was about to say that. So the AI is like really taking over everything
Yeah.
that you may have struggled with prior.
Yeah.
You could put an email in
Right.
AI, copy and paste it. Like those things are to save you. Now those are more time saving things.
Right.
Right. Because a lot of people are. We're talking about challenges. A lot of people are so focused on the negative effects of AI, which there's bad and good and everything, right?
Yeah.
But everyone's, oh my God, AI is going to do this. AI is going to do that. Oh, negative.
Right.
What about positive? Now you can like structure out a better email, right? Now you can write a bio in
because it's
5
the same
seconds.
thing of like what years ago when no one wanted to put their credit card in the computer or no one wanted to use the phone, and now no one wants to. It's the same thing, and
AI
we've all
can write your
adjusted
business
to it.
plan for you, but before it would take you
Absolutely.
like 16 hours to write a
Yeah.
business plan.
In 10 years, it might be making my soap.
Right.
The second one again is you don't think you can do the job as well as you don't think anyone else can do the job as well as you can. And again, even if this is true, the reality is you're going to burn out. You need to hire.
You need to be the captain of the ship.
Right.
Like everybody you hire is not going to be good.
Right.
So you got to know how to cut loose, and you know how to stick with the person that you can actually groom into being not just like you, but have skills that they need to help you.
Exactly.
No one is you. If you find someone that matches every single thing about you,
You're not going to want to be around them.
well, they're probably going to leave you because they're going to start their own
Did you
shit.
ever see that Twilight Zone episode? There's a Twilight Zone episode where this guy, he hates people. So I think he like prays. He makes a wish for like everyone to be exactly like him.
Oh, jeez.
And then everyone's exactly like him and he wants to commit suicide. I'm like, it's every time you watch a Twilight Zone, you literally learn something.
That's a lot, man.
Right?
Imagine like 30 of you hanging out with 30
No.
of you.
Wouldn't want to hang out with one of me.
I would.
Not for the whole
I
night.
want a twin so I can chill with him.
See,
and
I'm a lot. I'm authentic, but I'm a lot. I don't want to hang out with
I think I've
myself.
had somebody just like me. Like we would probably like
No, you
be
wouldn't.
cool with each other.
No, for like an hour. The number 3 is fake it till you make it. And
That's
again,
nonsense.
a certain type of hustler can get away with this. I would just say don't do it. Just make it. Concentrate on making it. Number 4, you aren't in love with change. Well, let me go back for a second. When I say don't fake it till you make it, I just mean be your authentic self.
Yeah.
Be authentic in anything that you're presenting.
Yeah. I agree.
Thank you.
Because you could be putting out content. It's just natural, organic content. And people on the other side of that could be like, oh, wow, that person's going crazy with that business.
Right.
Oh, my God. Oh, you probably could have not sold more than one soap. And someone could say, wow, you're doing so great. And,
Right.
and deep inside you, you're like,
No.
shit, I just sold like one bar of soap, man. But thanks
Right.
a lot. I appreciate it.
Exactly.
Right? But, I mean, that's a testament of what you're doing.
Right.
It's a testament like, you're building something and people are admiring it. That's not faking it until you make it.
No.
Faking it until you make it is promoting that you're here or you're there. Or
Yeah.
you're doing that. You could take someone to the next level and you may not have that knowledge.
Right. Yeah. The next one is you aren't in love with change. And the only thing I would say to that is to fall in love with change. Like if you really think about it, it allows you to view every situation from a different perspective. It allows you to come into new situations and live in the now.
Yes. Being uncomfortable.
Yes.
Like that's how you grow. Like many people.
Change is growth.
Yeah. Many people always used to say like, oh, I don't like going to the gym. I don't know what to do there. Or I'm uncomfortable when I'm in the weight area and how these guys are just working out.
Yeah, nobody's
whatever.
looking at you. Trust me.
No one's judging you really.
They're not even looking at you. People are so wrapped up in themselves in the gym, they're not looking at you.
80%
especially
of
if you don't know
people are
what you're
just
doing.
more as nervous as you looking at them as them looking at you.
And if you don't know what you're doing and someone does come up to you to help you, it's not because they're looking at you. It's because they're trying to help, or they're
Yeah.
a personal trainer and they're trying to make money.
Yeah, or just take that advice and then use it to build and look it up online. Now, I mean, I see people in gym like using apps, and I see them looking at their apps
Yeah.
and doing it, which is cool. That helps you gain that comfortable.
It is cool. I have a fitness app.
Yeah,
It's
you
cool.
do. But no, but that's
It's fucking
great
cool.
because that helps somebody who is nervous.
Absolutely.
It gives them more of that like security blanket.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna look at Joy's app. All right, like that exercise. That's good. All right, let me perform those exercises in the gym.
With correct form.
Right.
The last one is you don't have stickability. And again, all I would say to this is, like you said earlier, stick to your plan, because if you can't trust yourself to follow through with anything, why would anybody trust you?
Yes. Yeah, that's true. You
Right?
have to have a plan, and then sometimes that blueprint does change, but you have to know when to change it. Like if something's not working, all right, let's try a different route. But yeah, stick to what you originally focused on. Keep at it. There's going to be good days, and there's going to be bad days.
Right.
You just have to be willing to know, how am I going to overcome those bad days?
Right.
Is it a money situation? Is it, just not getting the clientele? Like, how am I going to do this?
Right.
And you have to, every single day, you have to sit and reflect and figure out, how am I going to make this work?
Right.
You know?
I would say the biggest way to get out of your own way for anybody, even if you're not an entrepreneur, is to incorporate spiritual practice into your life. And when I say spiritual practice, I don't mean religion. I don't mean any of that. What I mean is, we are spiritual beings living this human experience. And if you're not connected to some type of meditation or some type of working out or something that is just like a habitual spiritual practice, and when I say spiritual, I just mean that connection, you can't function. You can't function correctly. You can't function at your highest self.
Yes.
And that way you cannot get out of your own way.
I agree with you. That's going back to the book. Was it what's the name of the book?
Think and Grow Rich.
Think and Grow Rich. I can't remember the name.
Aren't you impressed that I know that?
Yeah, no, I'm actually impressed that I forgot it. Think and Grow Rich. I mean, the majority of the book is just having a positive mental attitude and putting stuff out like, oh, I'm going to be rich.
Right.
I'm going to make it. I'm going to be successful.
Right.
I'm going to keep a positive
thoughts.
I'm going to keep positive thoughts. I read that book, and I had my vision board at the time when I started. I think I said this the last episode or prior. I was in a bad space.
Yeah.
On my vision board, I put some of the stuff from the book, like, I'm going to be successful. Positive mental attitude.
Right.
Looking at that every day. You
Affirmations.
got to keep that. You got to keep it, because if you are not, then it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And some people want to be positive, like, yeah, I'm going to be positive, and then as soon as something negative happens, they're like, oh, fuck this, it ain't working, man. Fuck,
Right.
I knew this wasn't going to work.
But this is how you stop the negative thoughts. You literally think of it as, remember the old school tape players?
Yeah,
Right.
stop,
So
go.
a negative thought comes in, you press the stop button. You reject the urge to hit the play, and then you hit the fast forward to now, right, to what's going now. And that's it. If your now
True.
is not positive, then you rewind, and then you fast forward again. But I do have 3 questions that you can ask yourself, but I'm going to ask them to you.
Okay.
If someone has negative thoughts, my first question for them is to ask, how does this serve me to hold on to this negative thought? So if you were asking yourself that, what would you come up with? If it doesn't serve you, I mean, you can say point blank, if it doesn't serve me, then I need to let it go. But it's not that easy for everyone.
It's not easy for everyone. I have a hard time understanding why people get stuck in those ruts. I mean, not that I've never been there.
Do you feel like it's because you're enlightened? Why do you feel like I have a hard time, but I feel like it's because I've been through it. I'm enlightened when it comes to situations like that.
That's a good question, man. That's actually a really good question. I think for me, it's because I'm like a fighter. Like, I know if you get knocked down, if you get knocked down, you just get back up. If you fucking fail, you can just keep going. I guess I could say, like, you got to be punch drunk.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I just took a fucking bad blow. Fuck up, but I'm gonna keep fighting. Like,
Yeah.
like it's not over until it's over.
Right.
And people do have a hard time with when they have negative thoughts. It's hard for them to get out of it. And I think they need to find something that's going to bring them some sort of light, or they're going to have to go by their why. We talk about our why. Like some people now that have kids, that's their why, right?
That's actually goes into my second question. That's funny that you said
people
that.
Have like, I go back to addiction. If you're an alcoholic, if you're like a drug addict, if you're a heavy gambler, now you have a child.
Right.
Now you have a wife, and now you have a child. Your wife's like, hey, listen, man, you're coming home every night fucked up. You're on the couch, you're on the floor. Our baby's one. What are you doing?
Right.
Like, what are we doing now?
Right.
Either we got to leave you, or you got to kick this habit. Now your why is to get yourself out of that alcoholism, get yourself out of the drug addict, stop gambling, like get back on your D, like get back to it, right?
Yeah.
So you have to have a why. So that's number one. I think that'll take you out of your negative state. Like you could get in there for like 30 seconds and be like, no, fuck this. I have a plan. The plan is to, buy a house, buy my mom a house. That's my plan. I'm going to stick to that plan. So I think that's a good way to get out of it.
Okay.
Another way is having a vision board, because if you can't have your vision in front of you, you can get out of it. Like, I'm not going to let this stop me. I'm going to get, the house on the beach. I'm going to buy my mom a home. I'm going to get a new car. It doesn't have to be material items. It could be anything, but it could be reaching those goals. I'm going to finish college. I failed chemistry. Fuck it. I could take it again. Right?
Right.
Like, you have to do that. Listen, people fail tests all the time. You get to retake them.
Yeah.
Just fucking keep retaking until you pass.
Exactly. Number 2 is ask yourself, what is my value to the collective? So a little bigger, broader than what is your why, like your family, but your value to the collective would be what is my value to the collective as human beings? That, I feel like that will get you out of negative thoughts, because you're not going to think my value is to go walk down the street and kick someone, right? Because I'm having a bad day, right? No, your value is...
Well, that's crabs in a bucket. They pull you down, right? There's people who do think like that.
But that's not a value.
Like, if I don't have it, I'm going to fuck you up.
And then number 3 can piggyback off of that. It's because if you're thinking about your value to the collective, you think about how can I serve?
Yeah.
So that's number 3. How can I serve? And if you can find and write down some ways that you can serve, you can change your way of thinking.
Absolutely. Like, you may want to give back to your community. You may want to, do something for kids. You may say, hey, listen, I'm a big supporter of, maybe kids with cancer. So if I can do this and I can give back to these kids and make me feel better about what I'm doing. As far as to your second point, I think with that comes who are you listening to?
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to ask, Uncle Joey, who, works at the deli for the last 40 years.
Why not?
About hey, should I make this investment in the stock market?
Right.
Uncle Joe don't know. He's been slicing fucking turkey for the last 30 years. He's going to tell you not to do it.
Right. Because
he's negative, right? Oh, don't do that. You should do this. I know a guy who invested his money into fucking making license plates. He makes $1 million. Go talk to him. Like, you have to talk to people who are more successful than you, not somebody who's less successful than you.
Right, but also in line to what you are looking to do.
Yeah. You ever talk to somebody and they're telling you all the shit you should do and they never did anything in their life?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Like, yo, I'm always like, in my back of my head, I'm like, get
backseat driver.
Yeah,
all the time.
A backseat driver.
Yeah, all the time.
That's one of my pet peeves too. I should have said that first.
Me too.
But I actually hate that. I hate when people tell you what to do and they have not done not one thing in their life. That's fear. They haven't done anything in their life because they're fearful. They probably have all this knowledge, but they did nothing in life.
So they don't want you to
they're scared.
Either.
No.
So all of these things that we said, this is how you find your strengths, your weaknesses, your likes, your dislikes, and then you can know what needs attention, what needs work, and then you just work on it.
I think also you need to know who you are.
You do. You do. But I think most importantly, though, people have to stop playing the blame game. Like when people give up, it's very easy to say, well, this didn't work out because of this person or because of that person or because I couldn't do this or I didn't have this. Mm-hmm. You have to stop playing the blame game and just take responsibility for what's going on.
So when you're a real estate agent, you're an independent contractor. You are your own business.
Yeah.
Many realtors, I don't think they look at it like that. So they're always...
What do you mean?
Meaning they're trying to figure out how to be successful through who's going to help me get there.
I understand.
Right? They're always blaming their brokerage. Oh, well, they switch brokerages. They go from, this brokerage to this brokerage, this one to this one. They may switch 3, 4, 5 times.
Right.
Well, why are you switching? Why'd you switch for? I see people that leave our company and go somewhere else. Why'd you switch for? Oh, I didn't have any help there. There's a lot of help here.
Right.
So that's not true.
Right.
Maybe you didn't ask. Maybe you got the help and you didn't apply the help that you got. Mm-hmm. Right. So they go somewhere else. So what makes you think everything here, you go somewhere else, it's going to be any better there if you're not doing the core A, B, and C things you're supposed to do?
Right.
And they go there. And maybe they're a little bit more successful because maybe they are now starting to listen a little bit. And then they leave and they go somewhere else. Well, why'd you leave that place? Oh, I didn't like it. Well, why? Why didn't you like it? Oh, because they didn't give me leads.
So
that's
the blame game. It's a continual thing.
It's a circle. But if you are to listen and follow the instruction manual, then you're going to be successful.
Right.
No matter whether you're at brokerage A, brokerage B, brokerage C.
Right.
Like, I see it all the time.
You have to, if I'm being sensitive, you have to have grace with yourself in order to get rid of that type of thinking, because there was a quote that I read a long time ago that I loved, and once I read it, I totally understood it. It said, grace is the space where blame does not exist.
Grace is the place where blame. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So if you have grace with yourself,
yes,
you're not going to go around blaming everyone else. You're just going to be your authentic self, realize the truth that you know about yourself, mm-hmm. and get to work.
Yeah. I don't like blaming other people. I blame myself for the majority of stuff I fuck up on. I'm like, damn, I kind of fucked that up. All right, how did I fuck it up? How do I fix it? Okay, for next time I know what not to do or what to do to make it better.
Right.
And in business too, you know what to do to make it better, right?
Exactly.
Like you have to take inventory every year of what you're doing. Like I take inventory in my business. Come December and the end of December, I look at my past year. I take inventory, where my money is going towards what? Mm-hmm. Is this working? Yes. Is this working? No. Or let me scale that back. Let me put that into what is working for me, and let's see if I can scale. If I'm scaling now, all right, I'm good. If I'm just hitting the same zone, all right, something needs to change. So yeah, you cannot blame other things. You just have to not even blame yourself. You have to look.
You have to have grace.
Yeah, you have to look at yourself.
Yeah.
And be like, okay.
Same thing.
Yeah. Well, exactly what you're saying.
And I think with that, we're going to wrap this up.
Yes.
And we want to thank you for listening today. And we are on Apple, Spotify, Google, and YouTube. Mm-hmm. And if this is something that resonates with you, join our community, because we promise the best is yet to come.
Yes.